Today in the show, this is part 1 of a 5-part series about Lezhins Royal Servant. Before we get started on this, I do just want to say that this is a sponsored video series. Thank you very much to Lezhin for sponsoring this series. It means a lot to me. I'm a huge fan of Royal Servant. I said that the first time I've ever looked at Lezhin, so let's get started. So this starts out with someone, we don't know who, they're holding a knife and they bring the knife to their throat. And then the scene cuts to blackness and we suddenly see him saying, "I should have never gotten caught." So we see that same guy and he's sighing and he's holding what seems to be some form of butler's uniform. So he's talking to his friend and his friend's like, "Yeah, you should try being a servant. The pay's really good, you need a job anyway, so just try it out. And plus there's some royal looking for a servant anyway, so how bad could it be?" The thing is, people with royal blood in this world are called royals, but really they've got mystic powers. They're physically stronger than normal people and live for a lot longer than normal people as well. On top of that, if he was a servant, he'd probably be a butler, and he doesn't even know what a butler or a servant does. But curiosity killed the cat, so he signed up to be a servant, he puts on his uniform, and he goes to meet his employer for the first time ever. So our protagonist's name is Kyon, and he's going to meet his master, Lezhin, for the first time ever. Lezhin is the head of the Sealor family. The thing is, when you become a servant to a royal person, they brand you. You've got like a brand around your neck, so the whole world knows you are in service to this family. Kyon is quickly finding out that as a servant, he is not allowed to talk to the other servants. His master has a very cold heart. He's only allowed to move when necessary, and when he's got no work to do, he's only allowed in his room. So just being a servant is not fun. He's also quickly finding out that his new master is not afraid to punish his servants. After being punished for the first time, he's like, right, I'm scared, I'm going to quit. And then he opens his first paycheck, and then he's like, okay, I'll just keep working for a while longer because this pays good. Pays so good. And then we meet Ikar's Xian, the head of the Ikar family, and he's got pink hair and he's a bit lazy. Fun fact, Xian is in a relationship with his servant. Naturally, this is very uncommon in this world, just like it is in the real world for royalty to be in relationships with their servants. In fact, we see the two of them about to have sex when their other butler, Christoph, walks in and stops the two of them and is like, right, you've got stuff to do, sir. Get up. In fact, in the next scene, we see the two lovers having sexy sex. So we then go back to our protagonist and he's explaining a little bit more about the symbol of the royal blood. So the royals have that symbol on their hand, the servants have that symbol on the back of their neck, and basically the symbol can be used as a medium to allow the servants to use the royals' mystic powers sometimes. It is revealed that Xian has been doing research into the Sealor family. Lezhin and Xian knew each other when they were very young and he disappeared for a while. Now that he's back, it's sort of a bit like, oh. So Xian was hoping that he could go and see his childhood friend, but he's sort of met with no avail. It's also revealed that on Lezhin's end, he's having all of his servants clean all of these unused rooms and storehouses every single day. It's not really being explained why, but it's when he's cleaning the house, he finds a family photo that he'd never seen before, and as far as he was aware, Lezhin didn't have any family, and so it's very interesting that this has appeared. But then we go back to Xian, and it's revealed that aristocrats can turn into monsters. They can turn into like these evil beings that have lost all of their humanity if they go through a mental shock. Meanwhile, our protagonist has kept hold of all of those pictures of his master, and his master looks totally different. He doesn't have the scar on his face and he's smiling. He's never seen that before. But these monsters that I was mentioning earlier are called zeros, and it turns out that Lezhin actually saved our protagonist from a zero when he was very, very young. He's very torn with himself because Lezhin told him to throw away everything, but obviously these are clearly sentimental photos, so he's like, maybe I shouldn't throw these away. He wants to be honest with his master, so he's standing outside the door, gripping onto them, being like, should I throw these away or nah? When he knocks on the master's door, no one answers, so he goes outside just for a breath of fresh air, and who should he run into but his master? But in the snow and the darkness, he sees a warmth coming from his master for the first time in person, and feelings begin to spring up inside of himself, and he begins to blush. But the next day it's revealed that he got in trouble with the master for wandering outside at night, because makes sense in a world where something called zeros exists. Why would you go out at night? That's terrifying. So terrifying. But Kyon's not worried about the fact that he got in trouble. He's worried about the fact that this stuck-up, arrogant guy is making him have feelings of romance. But then Lezhin writes a letter to Xian and has Kyon send it to the post box, but then Kyon has ideas of his own. He's going to take himself to Xian. So Kyon goes to Xian's mansion and he's incredibly nervous, naturally, because he shouldn't be there. But when Kyon turns up and talks to Kristoff, Kristoff is like, the master is busy with personal affairs. When he says personal affairs, he means personal affairs. But then Kyon realizes that he didn't get permission to leave the mansion, but he's like, oh, it's fine, I won't be out for long. And then he ends up waiting for 3 hours before he can see Xian. So eventually Xian is like, so what brings you here? And Kyon is like, oh, I've got a letter from you. I was told to mail it to you, but I decided I would bring it myself. Xian's like, oh, that's fine. Meanwhile, Lucien has completely noticed that Kyon is missing and he has no idea where his servant is. So that's a big deal. Is Kyon going to be punished? Is he going to keep his job as a servant? Who knows, but we will find out in the next part of this 5-episode series. And once again, thanks so much to Lezhin for sponsoring this series. It means a lot to me and I really do love Royal Servant. It gets so good, it gets so intense. There are battle scenes, there are fights with zeros. It's so good. Just wait and see what happens next. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. So what do you think of Royal Servant so far? You interested in the intrigue so far? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to all the social links, and I will see you next time.